Oh, he's got his Casio out.
And welcome to a very special episode of the Miles Offside podcast, where we talk a little bit of football and a whole lot of nonsense. I am your not-so-secret pod crush, Oscar Puente, and I have the absolute pleasure of being joined by my very, very good friends, permanent resident guest host Adam P., surprisingly tall Chuck Bailey, and super producer Ian Stipson.
Surprisingly tall.
That's you.
It's your best
I
feature.
can't say FPL champion anymore, so I had to think of something else.
Funniest pod host.
Oof.
You can say that one.
There's the dagger again. Oof.
Yeah.
There it is. Oh, I'll dine out. The image of you genuinely not being able to look me in the eye is really helped rev my engine, I gotta say.
Yeah, good. Glad I can help you out.
Mm-hmm.
Ian, you won most likely to be struck by lightning or something, right? One of them.
Why are you talking, Oscar? Why, in a situation where you're trying to console someone, usually you think about...
I'm the crush, so I have that for me, so I feel
Again,
okay.
why are you talking?
You won person most likely to be called Ian. You won that award.
That's true. It was a tight race.
Good times, good
Podcast
times.
host that lives in the Midlands. You won that one. So, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, look, he said the Midlands is, normally we go with the North, but...
Yeah, I know, but I wanted to seem positive.
Yeah, try to be nice, I get it.
No, I say the Midlands, shithole. Football.
2/3 of the country annoyed at us.
Football. Oh, it's done. Ow. Long fucking season. Jesus Christ.
Oh, my God.
Game week 38. Feels really weird. We met up. If you could tell by my voice, had a few spritzers, got home late. Ian was there, Adam was there, we had a lovely time. And it was really weird because last season was obviously the title race, as well as relegation to play for. So the bars were really busy, town was packed, there was great football on. And this year it was Everton against Bournemouth, which was just fucking toilet. Tottenham Leeds, fucking toilet, but at least there were goals. And sometimes Leicester West Ham was on another screen, and the bars were not very busy. No one really cared. It was a real switch from last season, I think. Very poor quality football on show to round off what has felt like a slog, I guess, with the World Cup and that.
Yeah, definitely felt like a slog. Definitely felt like a fucking slog. Adam, you might have nicer things to say about the season up until the end. How are you feeling today?
I was enjoying it until about, for no specific reason, about 2.5 months ago. Just nothing in particular happened at that point. But yeah, no, I kind of agree. It does feel like it's been incredibly, incredibly long. And I saw that I think they're announcing the Premier League fixtures on June the 15th. So, it's only 2.5 weeks until they're going to start ramping it all up again.
What's it, 74 days till FPL is back also? At the time of recording, listener, please don't be confused by time travel. I know it's very hard for you to keep
not
track.
Tomorrow when it gets released or other days.
Tomorrow, by then it'll be less than that.
By tomorrow it'll be 73 days, but
it depends on when tomorrow is. It could be even less than that, listener.
What
Check
if
your
tomorrow
calendars.
never comes,
Is that Ian?
So yeah, it's a weird one, but football's over for now.
I know the better game was Saturday with the Bundesliga and Looney Tunes getting promotion up at the expense of Cardiff City. Is that right? Somebody.
Yeah, Cardiff City are in that league, but we're not involved in any playoffs.
Okay.
Coventry.
C teams, you know how it is.
C teams, W teams, it's all the same teams.
All the same.
Yeah, lots of promotion stuff. I know it's a sore subject for Ian. Looney Tunes, great.
I've never heard them call that. Yeah, okay.
It's Cockney rhyming slang, Ian. As you know, I'm an expert. So.
Sure, yeah, one of your specialist subjects. Yeah,
definitely not ours.
Yeah, Luton are going to have to spend inordinate amounts of money to bring their stadium up to some sort of Premier League code.
Oh, is that the stadium with the houses?
Yeah.
Just spend 3 seconds scrolling on Twitter and you'll see 8 million people saying, "Oh, look at this!" Or all those Lad Bible pages.
Yeah,
we've been on about this for years. We've wanted them for ages. Come on, guys. We don't want it changed.
I don't want them spending money to bring it up to code either. I want peeling paint and dangerous stands. No, I probably don't want that actually, but
probably not.
Yeah, but just let's keep some lower league charm in football. Isn't it weird that I would be saying that?
It is so
weird that you'd be the traditionalist. Yeah.
Honestly, Kennels Road's where I first saw football. Don't change it. Don't make it better. Make it worse.
Yeah, it was in black and white back then.
Yeah, even through my eyes.
All the pitch.
So strange. Sepia tones.
The polio took his vision.
Polio.
It is that famous picture of Ian sitting there with like a blanket over his legs, like FTR.
Yeah.
Ooh, too soon.
Too soon. Too soon.
Well, if you are joining us for the first time, thank you. We're very happy to have you. We are one American and three Brits, and we try to talk about the Premier League, but often get distracted. And if you're back, even better. We love it. We appreciate it. And we're going to kick things off, move on from the banter segment with our very famous segment, as we often do around here. And
how many times are you going to say segment? Segment.
Rapid fire news. Our top story this evening, and this is actually a big one. After 5 wonderful years together, the Miles Offside podcast has decided that this season, and indeed these next couple of episodes, will be our last. We are retiring for life reasons. I'm sure you all have noticed, listener, that it has become increasingly difficult for us to record together and release on any sort of a regular schedule. And we figured it would be better to walk away with our heads held high, knowing that we're saying goodbye, than to sort of let it taper off and die, as many other shows have done in the past. But I will open this up to Adam first, as our newest host and friend and longtime listener.
And probably the best one.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, also the best. The reason the pod is dying just showed us up on our own show. You're way too good at this.
Wow.
What are your thoughts, Adam?
I thought for a second you were going to say I was the reason it was dying for... Not because I was good, because I was bad. But I'm glad that's the route you went with it. I've completed my sabotage mission. It's like, obviously this will sound kind of trite to say, but it is genuinely really sad to see you guys hanging up the microphones, as it were. I think we talked about this in Slack. Like, all of us in Slack greatly appreciate what all of you have done, creating a nice little corner of the internet where everyone can kind of be themselves and feels comfortable and free enough to express their weird little, whether it be neuroticisms or little hobbies or anything like that. I think, you've just helped create a really positive environment, which especially in like football circles, is like bloody difficult to find nowadays. And in kind of Twitter and the online space in general is increasingly hard to come by. I guess I want to say, on behalf of the listeners, as I am one, just thanks, and sad to see you go, but obviously kind of completely understand at the same time.
No, we appreciate it, mate. And to be honest, I think for the last 4 months, you've been the life support system that's kept us going.
Yeah, absolutely.
In this long, because it has been very difficult. With times are changing. Ian's got to step into a new role at ITV. It's a bit hush hush at the minute, but just look at the papers and you'll figure it out.
Looking at the papers, he might be stepping away from his role at ITV.
Well, it's your fault for creating a toxic work environment, I believe.
I do that.
Libelous? Who knows?
It doesn't matter.
No, there's definitely a job vacancy. That's fine.
Yeah.
I didn't mention anyway. I might still be drunk. I'll stop talking. But no, it's been bloody great. It's been absolutely bloody great. And I think exactly what Oscar said. It's better to go out and rather than just whimper away and only do an episode every here and there and miss you guys for months at a time and that kind of stuff. Although we have been guilty of that in the past. But it's been an absolutely bloody great experience. Getting to meet all the guys that are on the Slack, a lot of them face to face anyway. And also hanging out with Oscar and Ian that week that we spent in Rhode Island was like really, really special. So something I'll definitely remember, and very sad that it's over. So if this is the first time you're listening, where the fuck have you been? Because if
download now.
If you pricks had been here earlier, then we might have been more successful, got more money out of it, and then,
Absolutely surging in Malaysia at the minute we are, though. Just as a side note. Yeah.
Surging in Malaysia.
Really
weird.
I
guess one last shout out to Malaysia, Paris, Israel, Barbados.
What was the state that we thought we were big in before we realised
Virginia?
Virginia.
Before we realised that it was just where all the servers were for all these podcasts.
Oh, is that right?
We shouted out Virginia for like half a season.
Pretty much. And then it turned out it's just
room.
where loads of the internet lives, apparently.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
Well, I heard someone say that everything ends poorly, otherwise it wouldn't end. And I hope that we are proving that to be untrue.
Well, we started poorly, so...
Well, continue as you mean to go on, etc.
With Frank Lampard of podcast.
Hey.
Oh,
take it easy. No, it's been an incredible 5 years, but things change, I mean, Chuck, you grew a whole human from the size of a pomegranate to someone that can ride rides at Disney World in the time that this podcast has existed. We've all changed jobs or had promotions. We've all moved houses. Life just sort of happens. But that doesn't mean that it wasn't an amazing 5 years along the way. Ian, anything to add?
Southgate's still England manager.
Did he outlive us? Jesus Christ. We made it past the Queen, though. We outlived the Queen, at least.
Sure. Was that... I don't remember that being a day one goal.
One of the things in the mission statement.
We're not leaving until there's a new monarch.
Yeah.
I won't have it. But yeah, it's been a ride. But for those that might be wondering, I mean, if you did want to get on the Slack, hard luck. That's now a closed shop. Fuck off.
It's the Super League.
It is the Super League! Oh my god!
Yes.
And obviously with us, it kind of goes without saying, but we're not going to be charging Patreon money anymore. Unless you really want me to buy you a load of socks, and then I'll happily do that anytime and set up my own Patreon.
Imagine if we just left that going and just saw who wasn't ahead of their finances and sort of just kept paying into our account.
5 years from now, it's just me and Emily still paying.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised, yeah.
Watching those dollar donations rake in $25 a year. Woo! It's not exactly the biggest crime of the century. But yeah, and we're still going to be doing Patreon meetups and that kind of stuff.
Well, they're just friends now. Just friends now.
Yeah, I think they're just not, people we know.
They're not customers.
Just friends.
They're not cash cows to be milked anymore.
Punters.
We love
morons.
We do.
Emotional support. Idiots.
I'm
People clearly that had far too much fucking money. But then we felt bad, so we basically just gave it all back to them.
Yeah, exactly.
We basically just gave all the money back to people.
Yeah.
Like, prizes, there you go. Right, we'll take you out for drinks. Yeah, we'll pay for this. Yeah, it's fine.
But we do thank the listeners for making us a thing for a few years there. That was nice. So, shall we talk about the season?
Suppose we could, yeah. Where do you want to
The
start?
season.
Let's start at the top. Manchester City, best Manchester City team we've seen in the mop era? Question mark.
I think it probably
recency
does.
bias. Probably,
Yeah, you might be right, Charlie. There might be a bit of recency bias, but because they've changed the way they're playing and Haaland's brilliant, he's now inverting fullbacks and did it with three different players. This, if not fullbacks, then centre backs, and put them into midfield. It's what Pep does and continues to do is pretty amazing. And obviously now they're in the Champions League final as well, with the best chance they've had in years to win it. Is there any chance they do win it and then Pep calls it a day, or do you think that's something that's likely? Because I was talking about this with Kelly today, and as part of me feels like with this investigation that's happening with the 12 billion charges they've got about financial stuff, Pep's going to have to answer questions about that week in, week out next season if he stays. If he wins the Champions League, I feel like there'd be a perfect opportunity to just go, I won them titles. I didn't do anything financially irregular. I just had the players and I picked the teams and I picked the tactics and I did it. You can talk about whether the asterisks matter and just fuck off.
So
once he's won the Champions League.
Run away with the trophies before anyone can take it off of him. Is that what you're saying?
Well, sort of.
He's going to go live in an island in the Pacific.
It's a pretty good tactic. He's going to be asked 3 or 4 times a week in press conferences next year. about the titles and whether they'll be taken off him and whether it's a level playing ground and all that. And if I was him, I'd just think, I've won the Champions League now with City. Can I be arsed with it? He's gone away from football for a bit before. Might it happen again? But anyway, just my vague Pep thoughts. Pep thoughts. That could have been
vague Pep thoughts.
Could have been a feature. Anyway,
yeah.
Start with the name, work backwards.
Yep.
Chuck, do you think that they're the best City team we've seen?
I think it's like Ian kind of touched on there, it's the fact that they've won the league whilst adapting to incredibly expensive, very good striker who breaks Premier League goal scoring record in his first season. Hey, remember all the idiots that said he's not going to do that well? Hi, one of dickhead. But to be fair, I changed my tone immediately after game week 1, so I was very quick off of that, having any sort of hesitation or reservations about whether he would be great.
I don't remember you being cold on Haaland. That's pretty hilarious.
I wasn't very. It was like I thought he'd score like 20 goals.
Or take time to adapt.
Or take time to adapt.
Yeah. Not a hat-trick a game.
Weird. Not like 5 hat-tricks in his first 9 games or whatever ridiculous record that was. But yeah, it's more the adaptation to the way City play, putting John Stones up into like defensive midfield and that kind of stuff, which struggled for a while. And then the press came out and the league charged them with all these things and they went, right, fuck you, we're just going to win every game. And they did that. And then I think watching them when they took apart Real Madrid in the second leg, I think that's one of the best performances I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was a
masterclass. Yeah, exactly. Not just on the City side, but the fact that that's what they did to Real Madrid, who have won the Champions League, 4 out of 5, 4 out of 6, something like that. So, yeah, it's quite impressive. He keeps being asked. He's got another season left, another 2 seasons, I can't remember, and he keeps saying he'll stay then, but he's very much kind of saying like once the current contract's up, like he's done.
Right. I mean, like I say, we'll see what happens if the Champions League gets won.
Well, and the FA Cup as well, especially if he wins the treble.
The treble,
treble, not a treble, the treble.
Yeah.
The treble.
No asterisk. Well, there will be asterisks, obviously.
All in due time. Yeah, I think my answer to that question also is with whether he gets the treble or not. If I'm reading between the lines there, Chuck, it seems like it's the most impressive, but maybe not necessarily the best season they've had. And I could just be putting words in your mouth, but who cares? I'm going to do that anyway.
Why not?
Adam, where are you at on them? Do you think that does it depend on the
You've got to love
treble,
City, haven't you, Adam?
Oh,
they've got to be like your favourite second team, haven't they? Really root for them.
Yeah, you love the story of an underdog. Just really warms the cockles of the heart. No, I think this might be the best Man City team in isolation, but I still think was it the 2017-2018 season when they got 100 points? I think that was the best City team compared to the rest of the Premier League. Because I think they were top, or they finished top ahead of, I think it was Man United were in second, and they were ahead by like 19 points, which is absurd. I think they broke the Premier League record for the most away wins in a season, the biggest goal difference in a season, and I think the most goals scored at home by a team in a season. So yeah, I think that's probably when it really looked like, okay, this could just be a thing that lasts forever. I think that was when they kind of really showed how clear of the rest of the league they were. And then obviously there were the couple of seasons where Liverpool pushed them really, really close, didn't quite make it. So yeah, I think that's probably the time when the gap has been biggest. Remember, as weird as it seems, because it feels like the title race has been done for ages now. City only finished ahead of Arsenal by 5 points, which isn't. It's a lot, but it's not like loads. And there was Arsenal were top for 240. Well, yeah,
for a while there.
Yeah, and Arsenal were top for 246 days, I think. The most by
counting?
a side. Well, me. He's like etched like a prisoner stuck in a cell on his wall. Yeah, I think so. I think that shows the fact that Arsenal were top for so long. shows that the gap to the other teams isn't quite as big when you look at the season holistically. It's just this last 2-3 months, it has really felt kind of quite seismic.
It is weird because it's Arsenal's form, if you like, has come in those patches, but you forced them into going a 12-game run to win the league. You know, in game week, it was all sewn up in game week 37. You know, that's quite a thing to do. They had to win 12 games on the bounce to win it a week before it was all, you know, the season was over anyway. I know you're saying it's 5 points, but obviously it only happened because that week Arsenal obviously lost to Forest before City had even played. But you know what I mean? You force them into a mammoth run of wins in order to win the league, you know?
Yeah, and I think that's, like I say, I think that's kind of show. Maybe you could say, oh, that was City having a slow start, but I mean, the City team that got 100 points didn't have a slow start. Like, you can't get 100 points and be bad for any prolonged period of the season. So I think that shows the kind of gap isn't as big as it might feel now. And like you say, Ian, I think Arsenal's form as the closest challenger, and I think, like I've said before, the fact that it's Arsenal who haven't had that kind of recent history of pushing them all the way, I think that makes the gap feel significantly bigger. And like you're saying about the demolition of the Real Madrid in the Champions League, again, obviously that was an amazing performance. Man City absolutely blew them off the park, deserved to win. But Real Madrid are second best in La Liga by quite some way against a Barcelona side that got knocked out in the group stages of the Champions League and by Man United in the Europa League. So this is not a vintage... I don't think it's a vintage season for European football in general. Like, you look at Bayern Munich have struggled just about kind of fell over...
Dortmund, man.
Yeah, it fell over the line to win the title in Germany.
Arsenal
Napoli,
finishing second. How bad is the rest of Europe when that's happening?
They didn't play anyone in Europe.
The Bayern one's funny because they won the league on goal difference, and then, the director of football got fired. Oliver Kahn and other guy, whose name I can't remember, got fired on the pitch in the celebrations of the trophy. They said, it's not acceptable for us to be winning the title on goal difference. You're out.
Well, and Tommy Tooks is still in a job, though, right?
For now, yeah, sure.
Just about.
Just for now.
The handshake with Conte. That was this season.
This season?
Oh man,
was this season.
I'm so glad you brought that up. I watched on Match of the Day. They did like a compilation thing at the end of things that have happened this season. I was like, that was this year.
I know.
It feels like a lifetime ago that Tuchel grabbed his hand. Mental.
Yeah,
absolutely
it was
mental.
a long year.
A long year. Do you find this, maybe, Adam, before we move on, it seems to me, briefly looking at social media, that people aren't necessarily talking about Arsenal being able to do this again next year. And not in the way that they're saying, not. It's just the focus I've seen everywhere is about, Man United will be on a charge, or Chelsea will, or Liverpool will. Do you think you've got it in you to do this again? What do you think needs to happen at Arsenal for this to happen again?
I mean, emotionally, personally, I can't do it again. I can't go through another season like this. I think that'll be it for me. I don't know. It's a tricky one. I think, this sounds simple to say, but I think we're best placed of the other teams that aren't Man City to put in a title challenge. Liverpool have got a significant structural rebuild to do, and there's a bit of changes that have been going on behind the scenes there that leaves me a little bit curious as to how they'll get on with that rebuild, especially with some of their signings recently haven't been amazing. Tottenham are all over the place. I don't really think we need to consider them.
Lol.
Chelsea, there's a lot up in the air there. I mean, Pochettino's a very good manager, but we kind of don't really know how that's going to go.
Bad.
Man United.
We do.
Title race.
Wildly changing.
Hey, last time we didn't have Europe, we won the title. I'm just saying. Mm-hmm. No, I'm kidding. Adam, continue with your point. I was just joking.
Man United, again, they've got a lot of players that I think need to probably go, and they need a new striker. They probably need a new winger again. They need a new centre-back again. They need a new goalkeeper. There's a lot of changes that need to go on there. And although I think there are kind of additions, and there's going to be a lot of movement in the transfer window for Arsenal as well, I think the base that we have is significantly better. And I think all that I can hope as a fan is that the team and the manager will have learnt from the mistakes of this season and won't be making them again. Like, if William Saliba doesn't play away to Sporting Lisbon in the Europa League, which realistically nobody really cares about, then this title race is probably different because he doesn't get injured, and yeah, who knows what happens there. So yeah, I'm not saying that I think we will challenge City for the league. I think it's too early to say whether anyone will, quite frankly, because I think a lot of that depends on how all of the teams, how they strengthen in the transfer window. But yeah, I would say we're probably best positioned of the rest of the sides to do so. Like, my prediction for where we will finish next season is probably second or third, I would say. And that's...
Yeah, here he is.
It sounds weirdly optimistic. But I think it's probably more because there is so much up in the air at the rest of the sides that Arsenal feel like the most stable, which is a weird thing to say.
Who do you think the other second/third place team will be? Do you think it's Newcastle? Do you have United? Do you think it's one of the other big teams that are sort of lurking in the shadows, looking to bounce back next year?
That's a really difficult question. If this Man United, depending on what happens with their ownership situation, I think that's kind of obviously a big thing that's still hanging over them. Like, I think Man United have been a little bit overrated this season just because they're Man United. I think if that was any other side, people never would have talked about them as potential title challengers. I think, I say Chelsea are the team I'm most interested to see next season, because I think there is the biggest potential upside there. Like, I think...
To see if it gets worse, you mean?
Well, I mean, obviously, that would be hilarious.
Because it'll be funny.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. But I think of it the other way. If Chelsea do really well and Pochettino starts winning, Spurs fans will be upset. So, really, it's a win-win situation.
The old win-win. Yeah, fair enough. I think you're right. Man United does flatter to deceive a bit because they definitely benefit from the teams that are normally there, Liverpool, Tottenham, Chelsea, being way below their usual standard. But...
That one end of the table to the other, the three relegated teams this year are Leicester, Leeds, and Southampton. I believe none of those were promoted, right? Is this the first time we have all three promoted teams staying up?
Fourth ever, I believe.
Wow. Very, very cool stuff. I say good fucking riddance to Leicester. Congratulations, you won your league title. You won your little FA Cup. Now fuck off forever. I really don't understand why you hate Leicester so much.
Incredibly hard.
I didn't used to, and then they just hung around in the top four too long. Or like in the top four conversations too many years in a row. And I was like, fuck off.
Well, that's what's really weird. Like, they won the league, then it was like 12th. Then I think it was something like 9th, 8th. You had those 2 seasons where they were in the top 4 until the last day, both seasons. Like, what was it, 99% of the time?
Yeah.
They finished 8th last year and then like relegated. And not like they were too good to go down. They were awful this year. It's mad the drop off they've had, and the roller coaster ride of Leicester having won the league, Community Shield, because that counts according to Mourinho, so it's fine. FA Cup. On the flip side, the owner, the helicopter accident, meaning that the owner passed away, and lots of people close to the club. COVID pandemic that, affected obviously everyone, but like we've mentioned before, kind of crippled their businesses that were all based on tourism.
Duty free, which just obviously didn't exist for a year and a half or whatever. I mean, God. And
so it's mad, and I think this should be a wake up call to a lot of the teams that in the last few years have maybe kind of coasted and thought like they'd be fine, because you see like that clump of teams that have been up for a while. So, Leicester, Southampton, Everton, West Ham, Palace, Wolves, Villa. Like, you see that group now stretching with some of the teams dropping off and some shooting up really high and getting into Europe. That like those other ones there, like they need to sort their shit out, because it's very easy to just plummet all of a sudden.
Yeah, I mean, look at how little it took for Everton to stay up. Like, it was one hell of a volley, but if it wasn't for that, like, they'd be going down.
It took a deflection.
Adam was very, very clear in the pub that there was a deflection, and I don't know why it mattered.
Nobody was mentioning it, and I thought it was of note. It took a deflection.
Very well noted, Adam. A deflected, beautiful shot. I will say just to say it, because I want to say it, Leicester finished above Palace on expected points, and they were the most underperforming team this season. So Leicester, a bit hard done by to lose out and to get relegated.
But
and that does also
worse
mean
on
that
XG differential, so,
Yeah, well,
I'll take what I can.
Take what you can. We do need to give out one last time ever, I guess, Mr. Simpson, cue the jingle.
Ooh, they're better than they ought to be.
Burnley out of the way. Season.
Very good. Our Burnley of the season. It is a very, very, very close race. Both of these teams finished about 12 points above their expectation. And if we were going just purely by the numbers, it would be Fulham because they were 17th unexpected, 10th actual. Because this is my show and I want to do what I fucking want, we're giving Burnley of the season to Arsenal. Arsenal finishing on 84 points, 72.5 expected. Wildly overperforming to their second place finish.
Hang on. This feels like a setup here. I feel
It does feel like a ruse.
It does. I
feel like Chelsea overperformed.
Chelsea underperformed by 8 points in the table, which makes sense because we can't finish a fucking thing. But we're not talking about Chelsea, so
we could do.
We can talk about.
What do you want to know? Should I talk about the Chelsea season? I guess
Frank Lampard being having what is it, a 13% win percentage as a Premier League manager? That's quite bad, isn't it?
I don't know that person. Mauricio Pochettino's our coach.
Nathan Jones had 13%.
Oh,
he was terrible.
Best manager in Europe. But carry on.
Yeah, Welsh women, etc. He got Luton are up because of him. That's what it takes.
Yeah, good foundations.
Shout out Looney Tunes.
Yeah,
but yeah, you should talk about the Chelsea season. You should.
Absolute dog shit. The worst season in my 20 years as a fan by far, both in terms of points and in terms of experience. 0 out of 10 would not recommend. Would not go on that ride again. 3 managers. How many losses?
Only 3?
16 losses. Oh my God, that's so many losses. We're so bad. I think that hopefully the lesson that they will take away from this season, because there's something, I guess, that could potentially come out long term, is that you want to make specific signings, not just lots of signings. Look at what Enzo did.
Specific, not just lots.
Yep.
Yeah.
What happened to not caring, not my money? What happened? Spend all the money.
I mean, continue to make lots of signings, but also make specific ones. Yeah.
Just lots of signings, but good signings.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, not less Mudryk, more Enzo. In general, I think, because there's like a couple of signings that really stood out. That at the time we were like, oh, this is in a position of need. Wonder if this person will have a bigger impact. Then, let's see, the 13th winger we bought this season. Like Adam said, there's a lot of potential there. I'm only half joking when I say last time we finished out of the European places, we literally won the league the next season. We went from 9th to 1st. This year we'd be going from 12th. We don't have Europe. We have talented players. We have a manager who hopefully will be able to figure that out, if I'm being optimistic and choosing to lean into that side of it. But I have nothing good to say about this season. It was absolute fucking dog shit. Terrible time.
For old time's sake.
I will say this, that you mentioned about not having Europe, but I did see something that there was a few years ago where, you didn't qualify for Europe. You sold your 2-time player of the season to Man United, and then you won the league the next year. So that was Juan Mata. So when Mason Mount goes to Man United, you'll definitely win the league.
Why are you being this way? Why are you being hurtful?
Who hurt you?
Listen, this podcast is ending, so I've got to get it all condensed somehow.
I mean, that's fair enough. Do you want to talk about Roy and how you're definitely going to get to keep him now that you finished above Chelsea in the table? Or
I really thought I wasn't going to enjoy it, but I do. looking at that league and seeing us just above, and it's the fact that we're adjacent. And we were 12th position was ours. You had to really work to take 12th.
That's true. We did.
When they do, the Premier League released like a timeline of like the teams moving positions and obviously like tracking it all 20 as the weeks went on. And you get to like week 23 and it's just a flat line, both literal and metaphorical flat line for Crystal Palace, just at 12 for weeks and weeks and weeks until, God bless Frank Lampard, he took Chelsea from 11th to 12th.
10th to 12th, thank you, get it right.
Oh, sorry, I didn't give him the credit
11th
he deserves.
That's right, it was 11th. Yeah, because we had to fire Potter.
Just brilliant. Absolutely.
Just a quick one, Oscar.
Hilarious.
You just said that we had to fire Potter. No, you didn't.
You really
Sure.
didn't.
No, you didn't.
I think we did, but I wasn't on the show at that time, and it's way too late to be digging up Graham Potter takes. Graham Potter.
Graham, who now today is coming out as being linked with the Palace job again, but you know,
is he really?
It's just
would you
silly.
have him?
Yeah,
Really, despite the Brighton of it all.
Despite the Brighton of it all,
He fucked Brighton.
because of it, he fucking hated Brighton.
To be fair, he told the fans to
Calling the
fuck
fans
off at one
prick.
point.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
Exactly.
Like, oh, sorry, I must need an education because this guy, I didn't believe that this club had ever been higher than this in the league. It was like one of the things he said when the fans were booing him.
So he's got Palace in his blood, it sounds like.
Yeah, it feels like it. But no, just anyone, literally anyone, not Roy Hodgson. But it's going to be Roy Hodgson. I know it is. We're going to have Roy Hodgson for another year.
Don't worry, Chuck. It won't be Roy. And now I'm just like, oh, it's definitely going to be Roy, isn't it? Oh.
Say all season. It's been like 10 weeks.
Feels like all season, Chuck.
Yeah, it does. Felt like a fucking slog. Yeah.
Oh, dear.
What's really great is we didn't win for like 3.5, 4 months, and still finished like it's like some of these teams are so fucking shit. Like.
Yeah.
Yes.
They should have relegated 4 teams this season and given it to Coventry just as a treat at the end of the final whistle.
Treat.
After the
Coventry.
penalty's gone in, all the Coventry players, Coventry players are on the ground and they're all sad. They just go over and go, don't worry, guys, we're going to relegate Everton as well. And then just, you know.
I wouldn't want to be the guy who goes up to Dyche and says that's happening, but yeah.
You can get promoted to the Premier League, but you do have to tell Sean Dyche in person.
You have to tell him.
And survive.
And he hasn't used any of his 3 punches for the day.
Yeah, make sure there's no sharp objects in the room.
Good Lord. Right. Well, there we go. I mean, Leeds looked like they were desperate not to stay in the Premier League. Sam Allardyce did this sum total of fuck all to arrest the slide, and looked like he don't give a shit himself.
They give a fuck. They're going to give him £250,000 to do 4 games and expect a result.
Get a point.
Madness. Where they went wrong is getting in a Watford manager of any delineation.
It's hard
ridiculous.
to get anyone who hasn't worked at Watford at some point.
This is
Everybody
true.
gets up to go there.
Yeah, literally, Hodgson did Watford in between us. Actually, I forgot about that. Yeah, he terrible. Things were better under Jesse Marsh. Like they probably would have been all right.
Yeah.
Probably
well,
wouldn't.
they got rid of Jesse Marsh when they were out of the relegation zone. So
Yeah.
you know. Anyway, there was a bit of teams keeping with their managers and having faith doing quite well this season in comparison to the ones who, or rather making the decision as early as Bournemouth did, rather than 4 games out, 8 games out. You know, when it's really just a hide into nothing. It's
Absolutely
Sean
mad. What did you
Dyche only
expect?
just fucking rescued Everton. Only just. And he was a good appointment for us, we were saying, you know, that he's probably their best chance at avoiding relegation. It was, as you say, a deflected goal that did it for him. And yeah, the margins were really paper thin. And I do fear a bit for Leeds. I fear very much for Leicester, as we've already spoke.
Good fucking riddance, and that's what we said about Leicester.
Okay, that's what you said. So weird.
Let me have this.
I think Leicester.
What is this?
Leicester might be. I was going to say.
I love Oscar's aggression about Leicester. Sorry, we're all just talking over Adam now. He's probably making a really good point. But to be honest, Adam, you've had enough airtime. This is our time.
Start your own podcast.
Once again, we thank you for helping to keep the show together.
Yes, we really appreciate it.
Oh dear. What were you going to say, Adam? Something about Southampton or something? I've lost my passion for it.
Southampton can piss off.
I was just going to...
Jesus Christ. Adam, please speak.
I was going to say, and this might make you feel better, Oscar, I think Leicester are, of those three teams that have gone down, I think they are the ones I can see who are most likely to double dip in relegations and go down again, because their squad is going to be absolutely decimated by the time they kind of lose all the players who are out of contract, and Premier League and potentially other Championship clubs have their pick of the rest of the squad. I think Southampton have appointed Russell Martin, a fairly sound appointment. He knows the league relatively well. I just think Leicester, they look a bit lost off the pitch, and they've looked lost on it as well. So yeah, I think they could be in potentially quite a lot of trouble.
Well, as we have now as a proof of concept, it is possible to get sent out from the top division, non-league, and come all the way back up, as Looney Tunes have proven to the world. Mighty, mighty Looney Tunes.
This is true. Another good thing is that Arsenal haven't won in their last 10 games at Kenilworth Road, so that'll be good for you, Adam. On Friday night, game week 1. Friday night, game week 1.
Triple captain on Jesus.
No, insert any Luton player here. That's the triple captain.
Speaking of triple captain, shall we move on to FPL?
Yeah, we've got prizes to talk about, and then we've got a quiz. So
we've got a champion to crown of the three hosts.
Sure.
Well, 4 hosts. We have a champion to crown.
That's how we're going to get out of this one.
Because congratulations, Adam P. 2,431 points, 465k, which is all terrible, but you are officially... I take my crown off and place it upon your head. So,
I will not have this. I will not have this.
It's mine to give.
Fine.
Oscar finished in second on way below that.
Taking this away from
110 points lower, 2329. Then it was Ian, 2314, and then it was me, 2303. Just an abysmal, appalling slog of an FPL season.
So
capped off for me when we were in the pub, and I looked at my team, and it was like, oh, okay, 5 of my team aren't starting, and one of them is Kieran Trippier, who just decides to shit his pants rather than points by just doing an own goal. So it was just a perfect to cap us off. So yeah, I guess Adam is the champion. Oscar can asterisk it. If he wants.
No. Congratulations and long live Adam, our now and forever FPL champion. Look at you go from punching bag to champion, all in the matter of 5 years. We're so proud of you.
It's the Luton Town story.
Your narrative arc has been huge over the life of this podcast, and it's really great that you are Bran the Broken, who is now unbroken.
Who has a better story than Adam?
Who has a better story than Adam? But enough about us, because let's face it, we had a shit season. Let's talk about the people that did well. I'm looking at the Patreon League, but I need to look at the actual public league, don't I? The winner is the same. Same person. So we will do our top 10. In 10th place, Padful with Fluffy Nutkins. In 9th, Barcelona, Martin Eyre. In 8th, the Dallas Buyers Club, James Atkinson. Mighty Reds Wannabes in 7th, Andrew Mercer. Swapnil Pandey with Michael Ol in 6th. Rabadenia Rapids. Look, his name made its way into my heart, but sadly not high enough in the table. Toby Ackland. 4th place, Andy Pempraise from Sutton, I believe, with Buy and Brew. He came 4th, 2575. He had a massive charge towards the end of the season, but not enough to get ahead of Sam Van Wham Bam Bam Balam Danby, my little Tony, on 2576. Oof. Change name, Kieran Hartnett. Oh, I've just realised Vin
name.
Lee. What happened to Vin Lee? 27th.
Nowhere to be found.
Should have changed your team name, you prick. Kieran Hartnett, changed name, 2598. And top, Queen of the FPL, of the patrons, of the friends, of the Miles Offside podcast, Michelle Marlborough, Miles United, 2,610 points, and a close to that rank of 8,814.
In the world. Oh my God,
rank.
that's amazing.
In the world, not too shabby, Shell. So congratulations, you win that one. You also win the prize for the Patreon League. So what are the prizes? Oh, a mystery shirt. Yeah, well, you'll get a mystery football shirt sent to your door and money, probably.
It'll be a posh one that I found on the floor after I ripped it up and threw it the other night. But, you can have that.
Sure. Okay. Asbestos not included.
Asbestos always included.
So that's FPL. So glad that's fucking over with. I hate it. Predictor League. Yeah, League of Predictions. I filled it out for once. I'm not doing a full jingle. I'm very
that's fine.
And,
Predictor
So
League.
I haven't updated it because everyone's been really shit this year. The winner had 72 points, which is... And the last place had 98, Adam.
I came last.
Yeah, again, yeah. You came last on...
No one broke 100 this
points.
season, though. That might be the first time that's happened.
No, it only happened one season. I'm pretty sure that was Adam, question mark.
I thought I was quite good at this.
No, not this year, mate, sadly. So, yeah, Adam last place, 24th on 98. Don't worry, mate. I'm right down there with you. In joint 22nd with 94 is me. And Nate Whittam, specialist producer Nate Whittam. Above that is my partner Gina, who she's on 92, and she probably put like Brighton 20th and Man United 19th or something, I think. And I laughed at her for her predictions at the start of the year. Well, I'm not laughing now. Above that, joint 19th is Chris and Sam on 90. Tom is in 18th, 88, Tom Townley. In joint, hang on a minute, joint 15th, John OG, Chuck Booth, another Chuck B, ridiculous. And super producer Ian Stimpson, 86 points. A far cry from when you won it with about 24, I believe, by cheating first season.
Wasn't cheating.
11th, joint 11th place, we have Mike Wellman, Oscar Dalton, and I believe Papa Dalton tying for the year.
Drama in the Dalton household.
And certified bean drinker, recurring character, my buddy, your buddy, everybody's buddy, Nick, on 84 as well. In joint 9th, Brandon from Always Cheating and Anand. Literally had no other way of knowing who that person was, so
good job
I'm quite
not
glad
won.
they didn't win, so would not be able to contact them. Joint 6th place, Jeff, Andy, Rob, bang. Those lads are there. Joint 4th, Oscar's getting...
Yeah.
he's realising,
I'm leaning into my
he hasn't
microphone.
said my name yet.
Oh, my.
Joint 4th, Toby and Michelle. She won the FPL leagues, but she didn't win the Predictor League, 76 points. And then we come to the top 3. I say a top 3 because there's 2 people tied in second and a clear winner.
Oh, my.
I say clear. We were all so shit this year.
So shit.
So in joint second, Alex Sampson and Oscar Puente on 74 points. He couldn't win, so the winner is Lynn. Insert correct pronunciation for your surname here. Ian's mate on 72 points. You win. Yay! Go, Lynn. Hamer?
Lynn Hamer, yeah.
Congratulations, Lynn. Here's a pen click for you because I know you love it. Yeah, congratulations. Let's see. What were Lynn's predictions? Oh, that's too hard to read, isn't it? Arsenal 4th, Villa 8th, Bournemouth 20th. Hey, that's they didn't get relegated. That's Southampton. Close enough. Brentford 15, Brighton 14, Chelsea 5th, she had Palace 10th, Everton 17th. That is right.
That is a good one.
Fulham 12th. Leeds 18th. That's another one. 9th for Leicester. That's a poor one. Liverpool winning the league. Man City coming 2nd. Manchester United coming 7th. Newcastle 11th. Forest 16th. Southampton 19th. Tottenham 3rd. West Ham 6th. And Wolves 13th. There we go. Do any of you have any questions about your predictions? Our time is our own at this point. I've given up caring if anyone's listening or if it's good content.
Yeah,
so,
I did wonder when you went through the whole league, but then I had the same thought. I was like, oh, fuck. You know, who cares now?
If you're in at this point, you need help. More help than we can provide. So,
yeah.
Oscar, you had Chelsea 3rd. Adam, you had Arsenal 5th. As did most people.
I had
Ian,
Arsenal really though, I think.
No, 5th.
Oh, 5th, okay.
5th as well. 5th as well, Chelsea 3rd. Everyone pretty much had very similar picks, which is why we were all shit. You had Palace 7th. You
always put Palace flirting with Europe.
No, I used to put them for relegation, and that was when I won.
Okay. I'm misremembering that. I thought you always were nice.
I think our first 3 seasons I had them for relegation, and then the last 2 I put them to do well.
He wanted to save my feelings.
Yeah.
Okay.
For some reason.
Okay.
So there we are. That's the things. Lynn, you'll be getting the prize, £50, £51 gift card.
That's going to hurt me to give her 50 quid. All right, fine.
But you don't have to.
I could just edit all of
run
this
away
out.
With it at this point. Good.
And the winner is Oscar.
That is what happened. That is the games. Speaking of games...
Bluff the top. Gotta bluff. We're gonna bluff. 3 people in the bluff. This time, I'm still gonna ask you questions. And there's numbers of things you gotta guess. How will it go with 3? We'll see right now. Yay. Alright, it is time to bluff. I have 3 categories. I put thought into how many of them there are, once again, Ian, so that they are actually a manageable amount and not just Beatles songs.
We've learned over these 5 years.
Yep. The season title quiz thing is done and dusted, but Adam, if you win a point, you can give it to either Chuck or Ian. I don't care. Or you can keep it for yourself. We'll see how it goes. Everything is arbitrary.
I gave you the FPL crown, you prick.
I was going to say, he just puts another star on his crown. That's all he does.
All right, I'll start with the first category, and this will go to Adam. Because alphabetical order. There are 10 in this one, Adam, and I'm picking this one for you specifically because I think of you as my fellow geek, because we both like the Weekly Planet podcast. So there are 10 Avengers that went on the time heist in Avengers Endgame. They put on those special suits, they went through the quantum realm, they went back to alternate timelines to get the stones and bring them back to defeat Thanos. How many of those 10 can you name?
Oh, that is a good question. I will start the bidding with 5.
Solid 5. 5 out of 10. Straight to 50%. Chuck, can you beat 50%?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Fucking hell,
I only watched
Ian.
this recently as well. But I'm not going to... I will bow out because I'm not going to get 9 or 10. So, yeah.
All right. Adam, do you want to go for 9 or do you want to leave it for Chuck at 8?
Or go 10.
I don't think I could
freeze him out.
I'm trying to think of each scene now and do the maths in my head at the same time, which is really actually quite difficult. No, see, I reckon I could only get 8 confidently. So I'm going to have to give it to Chuck.
All right, Chuck, let's have it. 8 Avengers that went on the big time heist in the middle act of Endgame.
The Big Thorbowski.
Correct. 1.
Captain America.
2, yes. Look at that ass.
Iron Man.
3, yes. Look at that goatee.
Gamora.
Sorry?
What's her name? The robot lady. Oh shit, what's her name?
I'm going to need to know what you said just now.
I said Gamora, and that's not the right person.
That's not the right person. Gamora was dead.
She was dead!
Oh.
Yes.
The robot, the Thanos daughter.
Nebula.
Ant-Man, Hulk,
Nebula.
Hawkeye,
You were thinking of
Black
Nebula.
Widow, War Machine, and the other one. Yeah, Nebula, that's the one. Damn it!
Yeah, wow. Did anybody want to throw any other ones out there?
Yeah, Rocket went.
Yeah, Rocket was with Thor. They went for the Reality Stone.
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man, yes. Ant-Man went for the Mind Stone with Cap and Iron Man into 2012.
Hulk, Hawkeye, Black Widow, War Machine.
War Machine was with Nebula. Yeah, they got the Power Stone off Quill.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay, so Chuck doesn't get that point, which means, Chuck, you can decide who does get it.
Adam gets it?
Yes.
Well, Adam gets it because he
Adam
bid.
gets it because he was the last one in bidding.
Aha. Default victory.
Yeah, no, we'll just make rules.
Sure.
Up. Yep.
Well, yeah, there we go. Point to Adam. Yay.
See, your normal tactic of never bidding won't work in this game.
That's true. Three people. Yep. Okay. I have in front of me, Chuck, you get to bid first on this one. The 12 teams that in the MOP era, so from the 2018-19 season through the season that just ended yesterday.
As it's commonly known.
Yes, the MOP era. 12 teams were relegated, some of them more than once. That's why it's only 12, even though it's 5 seasons. How many of the 12 relegated teams relegated during the MOP era can you name?
I will start with 7.
7 out of 12 relegated teams. Ian, can you name 8?
I'll jump it to 9.
9 out of 12
God.
relegated teams in the MOP era. Adam, do you want to go higher?
No, I really don't. 9 would be too much to me, to be honest.
All right. Chuck, do you want to go 9?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 8 written down.
So that's whether you punt.
I'll let Ian have a category.
Ooh.
I think I could do 10, but I'm going to let Ian take the category.
All right, Ian, I'm going to need 8 relegated teams, please.
Okay, so I'll try and go. I usually go scattergun. I'm going to try and go a little bit more recent to
Chronological reverse order? The only logical way?
a little bit.
Sure.
Yes.
So how many have I got to get? How many did I say? 9.
8.
So
Did you say 8 or 9?
9.
I jumped it to 9, didn't
9.
I? Yeah.
Okay, then you got to give me 9.
Okay. So Leicester, Leeds, Southampton.
Correct. That's 3. 6 more.
So who went down the previous year? It was Burnley,
Yes.
Watford, and Norwich.
Correct and correct. That's 7.
6.
6 that you've given me.
6.
Yes. 4 more to go.
Okay. Sheffield United.
Yes. 2 more.
I'm going a bit more scattergun now. Bournemouth.
Yes.
Oh, of course.
West Brom.
Yes. Very good. Ding, ding, ding. Point to
point.
Ian, I think.
Is that it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you said
that's
9.
it.
Yeah,
Oh
you
shit!
said 9.
Okay, fucking hell.
Do you want to finish out the category?
I couldn't deal with the pressure. Oh well, Fulham were right. Yeah, of course Fulham were.
Yeah, Fulham twice.
And it must be Huddersfield.
It is. There it is.
Huddersfield.
Yes.
Of course.
To run through those in order, in 2019 it was
Huddersfield.
Cardiff, Fulham, and Huddersfield. In 2020 we had Bournemouth, Watford, and Norwich City. In 2021 we had Sheffield United and West Brom and Fulham. In 2022 we had Watford again, Norwich again, and Burnley. And then
It
this
says
year,
something about me that I do well on a category about failure.
Well, it's teams moving closer to
their
team you support.
spiritual homes. Yeah.
All right. Well, last category then, Ian, you can bid first.
Okay.
We reported on 2 World Cups on this podcast.
Reported.
Sure. In that time, there were 12 teams that made the quarterfinals or later. So not the round of 16, but the next round after that.
Oh God.
How many quarterfinals between the 2018 and 2022 World Cups, aka MOP era World Cups?
Is there known?
Yes, they are known. Can you name?
And it's my bid first, is it?
Then it's your bid first out of 12. 12
Okay,
quarterfinalists.
I will go the halfway mark. I'll go 6.
6. There are 4 teams that did it twice. That's why it is
Yeah.
not 16
Okay.
teams, obviously.
I'll go 7, because that is higher than 6.
Okay, 7. Chuck, do I have 8?
Yeah, 8.
I'm furiously scribbling. No, I'm not going to go any higher than that. I'm out.
All right, Ian is out. Adam, do you want to go for more than 8?
Yes, let's go 9.
All right, and this will be for the
Okay.
win, by the way.
This will be for the win.
The all-important win.
I'm close. There's a couple that my brain seems to have been penetrated by the Euros. And so there's some teams where I'm like, shit. So I'm gonna go let Adam take it at 9.
No.
You did not want that.
Oh, God.
I have 6. I definitely have 6, but yeah, I'm going to let you take it.
So, Adam, if you can name this year's 8 quarterfinalists plus one more from 2018, you'll have the category.
Okay. So, England and France.
1
England
and 2,
France
yes.
obviously played.
Both of those 2018 and 2022.
Netherlands, Argentina, because that was the game with the Weghorst free kick and stuff. I remember that from this
Very
recent
good.
one.
Both of those only in 2022. 5 more, please.
Morocco got to the quarterfinals this time.
Very good, yes.
Croatia, they got in 2018.
Very good, 2018
definitely.
and 2022, both times.
Okay.
3 more.
Brazil.
2018 and 2022, 2 more.
2018 was Portugal. Were they one of them?
Portugal was one of the ones in 2022, not 2018.
Same difference.
But they are in there. You have all the 2022 ones, which means you have to name one of the 2018 ones.
Who did England lose to in the third place playoff in 2018? Belgium?
Hey, ding, 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 there it
Nice.
is. Adam wins, and Adam is now crowned, now and forever, Bluffer champion.
You completely made a mockery of this.
Lineal champion.
Well, this doesn't feel good, does it?
He doesn't even have music, so play
I was
my
gonna
music,
say.
please.
Oh dear! What is
No,
your
don't
music?
play his music.
I don't want to play. his music.
Give Adam the fanfare or something, the Patrick
hang on,
Bamford
hang
music.
on, no.
R.I.P. Because Patrick Bamford is now
sorry,
dead to
I
us.
hit Crime Watch.
No, that's Chuck Bailey Investigates. for fuck's sake.
Sorry.
Give him the new tweeter one.
I haven't got that. I took that off a long time ago. I've only got so many bald things
Buttons
here.
on your little keyboard.
Yeah. Okay.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
Very fair.
Lovely,
Very
Adam.
fair.
That is officially your soundbite from now and forevermore on this podcast.
Immortalised. Yeah. Is that it? Are we done
Well,
then?
yeah, we're going to take a couple of weeks off now because we've got, we're going to let the FA Cup final happen, we're going to let Fiorentina West Ham happen, and we're going to let the Champions League final happen, and then we'll come back for a farewell episode, and that will be the last one.
Time to say goodbye. Yeah, that's it. I don't have any fixtures to read, so
Cool. There we
there we are. Thanks, Adam, for taking all the glory. Really, it's the only way that this could go out. I'm glad that we could send you off into the sunset full of joy. I'm going to have to change my timings because 3 of you. So say goodbye, Adam.
Goodbye.
Say goodbye, Oscar.
Goodbye, Oscar.
Say goodbye, Ian.
Goodbye.
I'm on a massive time delay, so that felt really awkward. Thanks to all our Patreon producers, Jeff, Andy, Tom, Sam, Mark, and Nate.
Yeah. All right.
There we go.
Right.
Oh, dear.
Cheers, chaps.
Indeed.
Bye, boys.
Thank you
That was fun.
very
Four-way.
much.
Lovely.
Lovely.
Adam, genuinely, thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Yeah, absolutely.
cheers, man.
mate. You've been
No.
fucking immense.
Oh.
Absolutely immense, mate. Thank you so much.
I think nothing of it. A pleasure. I'll do it all
Okay,
again.
see you later.
Oh, okay. Fine. See you. Bye. Cheers.
All right. Love you guys. Bye.
Cheers, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.